Okay, at this time we're going to introduce and present the 11 inductees and have them say a few words. So at this time we'd like to call our first inductee from the class of 1973. Is an outstanding basketball player, a Division I Super Team All-Star, T&G Defensive Player of the Year. As the saying goes, the best defense is a good offense, and he proved that to be true, as he still holds the single-game scoring record of 45 points. He was unfortunate that I didn't cover him, or he would have scored 55. Anyway, I'd like to present Mr. Ken Webster.
Well, Nikki, my friend Nikki and my former classmate told me I had about an hour or so, but I'll only take maybe a half. First of all, there's three guys, and there's a bunch of them down there that are going to be mentioned, but I see my friend Mack, Kevin Ryder, and Joe Russell that I'd like to mention, who I played ball with. And contrary to popular belief, I coached across the street for about 18 years. But believe it or not, every morning when St. John's was playing, when Shrewsbury was playing, I would always, that was my first thing, would be to look and see what Shrewsbury High did. So Shrewsbury High has always been first in my heart, and obviously playing here. So first of all, everybody, what an exciting night. Parents, inductees, coaches, and friends, thank you to SHS Administration, ADJ Costa, and the Hall of Fame Committee. I will be forever grateful to the SHS Hall of Fame Committee for finally getting it right. This is an honor that's long overdue, don't we think? Yeah. Thank you to the young inductees. A special thanks to my former classmate and friend, Nikki Tedisco, for being instrumental in pushing along my induction. Nikki knows greatness when he sees it. Also, my good friend, Henry Graham Petro, for always keeping my name in the loop. That being said, I would really be remiss if I didn't mention a group of guys from an island off the coast of Shrewsbury and Worcester called Edgemere. This is where I gained the confidence and the ability to make this night possible, and these guys had a lot to do with it. Donnie Stubby Sheehan, who couldn't make it tonight, he had a sickness in the family. Donnie was one of the older guys who taught us younger kids the right way to do things. Quick story on Donnie. Donnie would ride by my house before every summer league game in his big Buick convertible while I was shooting hoops in the driveway. This is how it went. Hey, Kenny, so-and-so says you're overrated, and he will hold you scoreless tonight. He doesn't think you're very good. Well, guess what? That's all I needed for motivation, and Donnie knew it. If my memory serves me, I dropped 30 on that kid that night, and this went on all summer. Kevin Sheehan, who was on our 1972 Clark Tournament Championship team and a big part of why we won. Paulie Savageau was sitting down with the Edgemere crew, another member of that 1972 Clark team. Paulie was probably the best shooter I ever played with, besides myself. Paulie and I would shovel the snow off Edgemere courts, take maybe 100, 150 shots a day. Another record holder from Edgemere, sitting over in the corner, although this guy is way too modest to acknowledge that, David Chucky Johnson. Chuck and myself hold the all-time 2-on-2 record for most wins in Edgemere history. I believe our record was 462 wins and 8 losses. This next guy holds the honor of being the only kid in Edgemere to ever beat me in a basketball contest. Fran Russ Russell. We were 12 years old. We had to take a bus from Edgemere to City Hall. then transfer to Gold Star Boulevard to the Mammoth Mart for a Bob Cousy foul shooting contest. Boy, this was a big deal for us, almost like traveling to Europe. There were about 30 or 40 kids, and the rules were every kid gets 10 foul shots, and the most you hit wins. The prize for first place, a pair of beautiful, beautiful green Bob Cousy high-top sneakers. Unless there was a tie, the other prize was a Cousy photo, not even autographed. I knew those sneakers would be mine, and even envisioned what it would feel like lacing them up. Russ shot before me, and he did very good, 9 out of 10. Nobody else was even close. I was the last, as I always wanted the pressure. So as I step to the foul line, I can see myself accepting those beautiful Cousy sneakers. I will hit 10 for 10, easy. And they will be mine. This is where everything goes south. My friend, Russ, stands under the hoop, and every time I shoot, he shakes the basket. No lie. Are you kidding me? Well, guess what? I shoot 8 for 10, and Russ gets the Cousy sneakers. And I get the stupid picture like 39 other kids, not autographed. My friend to this day will never admit that he shook the hoop. Before I end, I would like to mention 2 guys that are no longer with us. Paul Yaccusino, who was also one of the older kids who made me a player. Yak would always knock me around, and if I ever complained, he would say, "Webby, you have a chance to be really, really good, but if you want to play with the big boys, you have to be tough." So thanks, Yak. And finally, Bruce McNamara, and everybody sitting down at that table remembers Mack. Mack, as we called him, was the best player I ever played with, and I played with a lot of really good players. Mack could do it all. He was our captain and leader. Mack was a great passer, shooter, and defender. He had great motivational skills. Mack would get you excited for practice. Fortunately, I got to experience firsthand one of Mack's greatest moments. Our 1972 Clark Tournament Championship. I'll set the stage. We're playing Wachusett, which beat us during the season twice by 20 points. Everybody was set for a big celebration in Holton. They had the game already won, the gym decorated. Well, guess what? They never met Mack. Wachusett hits the first shot, about a 30-footer. Oh boy. Here we go again, I say. But Mack comes down court and buries a 40-footer. And that's when I said, this is a different day. Mack's here. Final score, we win 79-59, a 40-point turnaround. The last team, by the way, to ever win Clark Tournament in Shrewsbury. Mack put up 36 points on Wachusett that day and carried us to Shrewsbury's last Clark Tournament championship. I remember laughing over the years with Mack about the Wachusett quote, about the Wachusett coach and his quote in the Worcester paper. We never thought McNamara could keep up that shooting for the whole game. Guess what, coach? You really don't know Mack. So for all the guys from Edgemere, this award I got is for all of us. Thank you, and everybody have a great night. Get rid of all my stuff, Bob.
Yeah. Great job, Kenny. I could envision those green sneakers being laced up by Franny Russell. And And I'm sure you wore them every time he saw you for the next couple of weeks.
He'll still never admit it. Get over it.
Our next inductee is from the class of 1980 and excelled in both field hockey and basketball. Captained both sports as a senior, team MVP and T&G All-Star in basketball. A scholarship basketball player at Holy Cross, where she was a starter for 4 years and a 1,000-point scorer. I would like to present Phyllis Townsend.
Well, thank you. I don't quite have the stories that my predecessor did, but first off, I want to thank Robin Richard, who nominated me for this, to Martha Morrison for making the trip, and then to the Hall of Fame committee, who nominated me. I have great memories of playing basketball and field hockey at Shrewsbury High. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my parents, who really had no experience whatsoever in playing sports. Growing up in the South, it was just something they didn't do. But they sure supported me. They took me to every game. They paid for me to go to camps when it was difficult for them. And because of them, I had a lot of success. And most importantly, I have to thank my experiences at Shrewsbury High for preparing me both to play athletics in college, for academics, to allow me to go on and have the success I did. So that's all I have to say. But thank you.
A little bit shorter than Kenny's speech. Anyway, I'm way ahead of schedule, so I won't be zapped for at least 10 minutes. So I like to tell a few stories about my childhood. No, I don't. Anyway, I'd like to present the next inductee from the class of 1990, a three-sport athlete. In fact, I will stop here and say something. Jay told me to go through the program, pick out a couple highlights of all these people. I said, it was almost impossible. Every highlight was a significant accomplishment by these people. And I had a hard time doing that. There was some I just duplicated the program. I said, well, that's not gonna work. Anyway, a three-sport athlete, football, track, and baseball, numerous all-star team and MVP honors in football, set school records in both the 300 and 100-yard dashes, and a Shrewsbury High School Sportsman of the Year. I present Paul Mailman.
Thank you. I'll probably be the shortest, just so you know. I don't want to sound violent, but Jay told me that I had to come up here and say a few words today, and I really wanted to punch him in the mouth. But then I thought, I'm going to have to go see Mr. Largess after that, and it's probably not going to be a good idea. So, I'd like to say thank you to Coach Holland for giving me the opportunity to, start and play for his team. Coach DePilato, when I decided to run track, taking the time to work with me and make me a better runner. Shrewsbury High School is a fantastic school, from the staff to the athletes, so on and so forth. It's been a really, really good thing for me. They molded me to become a better person in life, and that's all I got to say.
So I wasn't going to let Paul get away with this, but I just want to tell you my first introduction as an 8th grader at Shrewsbury High School. Very fortunate to watch Paul play on the football field. 8th graders were separate. We were all in a different locker room. They put us way down on the other end of the field, so on Friday nights it was great to watch. Then I got the opportunity to run track. I got cut from the 8th grade basketball team, too short. What do you mean too short? And then ran track. Well, my first experience, my first practice was amazing because Mr. DePilato pulled me off the flagpole in the gym because I was hanging from my underwear while my friend John O'Connor is laughing at me. That was thanks to Paul. I think they call that hazing today. So I told Paul he made me a better man today. So thank you, Paul.
Thank can just picture you hanging from the flagpole here. Wow. Wasn't pretty. No. Our next inductee is from the class of 1994 and was an outstanding gymnast. A Boston Globe All-Star, USG state champion, level 10 gymnast, 4-time state qualifier, and placed first for all around. Competed in nationals at Southern Connecticut State University. I would like to present Tegan DeWallace Gonzalez.
This is quite an honor. Firstly, it's wonderful to see some familiar faces that I haven't seen in so many years. It's nice to see people doing well, and I was so blown away when I got a call from Jay Costa about 3 months ago. I truly did not expect this. Gymnastics, set much of the fundamentals and the foundation for much of my life, but I really didn't see myself being here today, so I thank the Hall of Fame committee. I thank Jay Costa. I was fortunate to graduate with Jay Costa and PJ O'Connell, and really was blown away here to be part of this. So I thank you. Gymnastics was a very individualized sport. I was always doing it on the private side, and then turned over to come to Shrewsbury to be a part of a team. Of which Dana, who's here today, was also part of that team. There were some wonderful athletes, Rochelle D'Elia and Erin Allery, who are also in the Hall of Fame. And we just had a rock star group of girls. And I valued the time so much. It set the foundation. I was able to go to college and do gymnastics. Changed my life. I dislocated my knee my senior year of high school and had a tremendous amount of support from Shrewsbury and the whole athletic department. So I thank all of you. It's a wonderful honor. It's nice to see familiar faces. I do tell my daughters I don't want them to do gymnastics. I don't want them to have the pain that we have, but thank you very much. Nice to see everybody. I wanted to say too, to Mr. DiPalato, I remember why I know you, because my parents forced me to do track my 8th grade year. And I was not a runner. I was not that at all. So it was always just a one-sport wonder. But that's how I remember you, and I used to cheat running the mile. And I would like to thank my parents who are here with me tonight, and I'm blessed to still have them both in my life, and I thank you, and I wanted to thank my dad and my mom for good genes. I love you both very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Tegan. Our next inductee is from the class of 1995, another 3-sport athlete, soccer, gymnastics, and softball. Captained all 3 sports senior year, 5-time Mid-Watch All-Star in soccer and softball, Shrewsbury High School Outstanding Female Athlete, and captain of Fairfield University softball team. I'd like to present Meaghan Young, Smey.
Okay, wow. Yeah, this is quite an honor. I have nothing but fond memories of all my time spent at SHS, back in the old school in the center of town versus now the big school on the hill. It's pretty amazing. I got to go there yesterday for the game, which was awesome. But mostly I remember, like some of the other inductees referenced, preparing me for future things that I would take upon in my life, such as playing in college. Athletics has always prepared me for that, and is a lot of things I learned from that, such as how to be a leader, how to be a good team player, and just to enjoy the fun of athletics, all the things that comes with that. So I'd like to thank all the committees that nominated me and got me here today to speak in front of you. Also, I'd like to thank my family, all of the members over here. I'm quite blessed to have all these members here today that have at least seen me play at one time between high school and college. Traveled to different tournaments, whether it be a college game or a local tournament. So I'm so grateful that all of you got to see me play and support me in that. So thanks for being here. Also, I'm very fortunate to have played all of my years, for the most part, with my younger sister. quite the competitor that one was. Wait till you hear her accolades. But she made me, I think we kind of made each other the competitors that we were by being able to play on all the same teams. She was pretty good. She was able to play up and keep up with my level as well. So that definitely was enjoyable. I have a couple, there's so many memories. This is quite a while ago. But things like, I remember I drove a caravan at that one point, and I remember taking all the seats out of the back, throwing all the equipment in there, and then just driving players down to practice, picking up and dropping people off. Not sure that was the best idea, but that's definitely a memory. I'd also like to thank one of the major supporters of me from the first time I met her is Coach Robin Richard. She was my coach for all 5 years at SHS in softball, so I was fortunate to play under her for all those times. And like I said, from the first moment I met her, she was always probably my third supporter behind my parents. And then I got to play summer ball with her as well. A lot of fun times there as well. So thank you. It's very special that you get to be here tonight too. So I think that's it. I'd like to also thank my husband and my 2 children that are getting to be here tonight. I'm also happy to say that I hope there's some more student athletes that are going to grow up and see this as an example of all the other student athletes that stand up here. So thank you very much.
Thanks. Great job. Yeah, our next inductee is from the class of 1997, 3-sport athlete, soccer, basketball, and softball, 3-time Central Mass All-Star in soccer, 6-time Mid-Watch All-Star and T&G All-Star in softball, Shrewsbury High School Outstanding Female Athlete, started and played every inning of every game for 4 years at the University of Virginia. Now, not to be outdone by her sister Dana and her brother Dave. They now have 3 in the Hall of Fame. I present Meaghan Young.
Thank you. So, of course, I have to go after my sister, which I've done, my whole life. I'm the youngest of 4. But thank you guys. Thank you to everybody who put this together tonight. Thank you to Jay and Shrewsbury High and the committee and everybody who put this nice night together, everybody who's working here. We appreciate it. I guess I would like to thank my siblings. I will say my time at Shrewsbury High School was amazing, getting to play 3 different sports. Some of the people I played with are here tonight, Tara and Erin and my sister, of course, and I just have amazing memories. Other than my 4 years of college, those were really the best years of my life. And like Tegan said, I learned so many things in playing sports, leadership skills, and I appreciate all those years that I had. I would, again, like to thank my siblings, my older brother. A lot of funny stories about that, but I think I learned a lot about sports from him. All the times in the backyard, him hitting us ground balls, one more. So I learned a lot from him, how to be tough. I did get that nickname a lot of being very tough, so that is definitely from my brother. My sister Dana, of course, like she said, I was super lucky to be able to play with her in 2 different sports for many years. And I look up to her, as you guys probably know. She's one of my favorite people in the whole world, and I always looked up to her, so I'm super lucky that I had the chance to do that. And I think my sister Kim carted us all around everywhere, probably as well, so thank her. I'd like to thank my family who's here tonight, specifically my dad. My dad pushed me more than anybody has ever pushed me in my life, and was really contributed to the athlete that I became. And so I thank you for all of that. He always told me if my leg was not broken, then I had to be out on the field. So I never broke my leg. My sister did, but I never broke my leg. So thank you. Thank you for that. Coach Richard, as well, I got to play 5 years of softball as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all you did for my sister and I. And last but not least, I would like to, my mom could not be here with us tonight, and so I'd like to thank my mom the most. Many of you guys know my mom, and my mom, She brought all of us 4 kids to she never missed a game. She never missed one single game, I don't think, of any of us in all the games that we played. My brother played 3 sports, Dana played 3 sports, I played 3 sports, Kim played field hockey. She never missed a single game in all those years. My aunts can account for that. I wish she could be here with us tonight, but unfortunately she can't, but she's watching us, and I'd like to thank her as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Meaghan. This time I'd like to introduce a guest introducer, I guess I would call it. What's that, Jay? Oh, you want me to switch ties? Okay. Mr. John Mastro.
Hello, everybody. Actually, Jay just texted me and said, "Get him off of there." I requested this introduction because of how close I was to the situation in his whole high school career. I am here to introduce William Billy DeMalia III, class of 1998, football, basketball, baseball, and outdoor track. Billy earned 12 letters while he was at Shrewsbury High. And for those of you who don't know, I have been calling Shrewsbury High football games for the last 21 years. I think I've missed maybe 3 or 4 in that time. In my opinion, Billy DeMalia was the best running back I ever saw. And I've been watching Shrewsbury football for a long time, and Central Mass football. You can see all his accolades here in the book. I'm going to tell you a short story because he's going to be really quick because he was always very humble and he always passed on his accomplishments to his linemen. A quick story. We needed a representative at the Central Mass Decathlon up in Gardner, I think it was. Billy went up there. He had never thrown the shot put. He had never high jumped. He had never long jumped or the javelin. Pole vault. He'd never done any of that, any. He came in second because his father told him to pass on the high jump at 6 feet. So that's how good an athlete he was. And I'm glad that I get to introduce him, Mr. William Billy DeMalia.
Thank you, Mr. Mastro. That was very kind. It's very nice, as always. I love you. All right. So first, one of the, I was looking up Hall of Fame speeches, and I found one of the biggest Hall of Fame faux pas ever was by none other than a former Yankees coach, which was Joe Torre. And he forgot to mention George Steinbrenner in his speech. So I'm definitely going to start by thanking my wife, Meredith, my 2 kids, Maddie and Liam, for being here. I will not forget that. So thank you. Also, my parents, thank you guys so much. My mom shuttling us all over New England for games, practice. I'd have a cooler in my car after school before football practice with snacks and drinks. She was amazing. Never missed a game from middle school all the way through college. Same thing for my dad. Pops, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of passes, pitches, ground balls, layups, jump shots, and all the years that you coached me. Thank you so much. I love you for all that. Quick story, so Dad, growing up, I know a lot of you guys know my dad. So watching pro sports at home and with the family, and it would drive my dad crazy. And as you know, when my dad goes crazy, he gets louder and louder and louder. But they do a close-up on a professional athlete in a game, and every time the athlete would look in the camera and say, "Hi, Mom," and it would drive my dad nuts. You know, all the dads, we spend all this time, we practice it, and then the mom gets all the credit. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And he would do this over and over. So he said, "You better say hi, Dad, and at least say Dad first, and then say Mom." So hi, Dad. All my family and friends that are here, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. You helped me grow as an athlete and more importantly as a person. I thank you. I love you all. Thank you all for being here. The amazing coaches I've had over the years and all the teammates I played with, very appreciative of them. I still keep in touch with most of them to this day, and I love you all. So thank you all so much for this. I'm truly honored. Thank you. And to the rest of this inducted class, I'm very privileged to be with all you. This is an amazing athletic class. Thank you.
Our next inductee is from the class of 1999. Played 3 sports, soccer, basketball, and track for 5 years, from 8th grade through senior year. Midwatch All-Star in all 3 sports, won the Colonial Award for Outstanding Senior Athlete, led 2 college basketball teams in assists. She's a Shrewsbury High School girls varsity basketball coach for 13 seasons, and was just recently named MBCA Division I Coach of the Year for 2018 and 19. I had the pleasure of announcing her as a player, as a coach, and now as an inductee to the Hall of Fame, where she joins her brother, dad, cousin, I guess, is that it? All right, I present Erin Largess Cook.
I read this to my son this morning, who's 4, and he said halfway through, "Are you done yet?" So, thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, to Jay Costa, to Gordy Warren, our athletic director in high school, to my former coaches, my teammates, and thank you to my family and friends who are here tonight. And thank you to my husband, Jeff, who was not part of my glory days, but is always willing to relive them with me. And he can retell them so well, it's like he was in the front row. So, being inducted into the Hall of Fame is really an honor for me. For as far back as I can remember, all I wanted was to be a Colonial. I was surrounded by Colonials, and whether it was in our house or in the car or at my grandmother's house on Sundays, I heard about my family, my cousins, and their teammates, their teams, their successes, their setbacks, and all I ever wanted was to be a Colonial and to have my own story. And finally, in 1994, as an 8th grader, I entered the high school, and I was fortunate to play for some really great coaches. Mike Ziobro, our high school basketball coach, and Nick DiPilato and Wendy Marshall, our spring track coaches, were just some of the best coaches that I've played for. They knew their sports, they were great teachers, they motivated and challenged you, and they knew when you needed something different than just a hug or a walk or a quick pep talk. And they all had an amazing ability to get their teams, however many girls that was, to buy in and to believe that every girl had a role that was vital to the team's success. So thank you, and thanks Mike, who's not here. I credit a lot of my success to my family and to the home we grew up in. I was surrounded by greatness. My dad, who's a Hall of Famer, was a teacher and a coach and a mentor to me. He could adjust my free throw with 2 words. He could teach me the mental components of competing, and I soaked it all in, and I loved hearing and learning from him. My mom believed that I could do and be anything in the world, and when you hear certain things enough, you start to believe them. So because of my mom, I believed anything was possible. My brother, who's also a Hall of Famer, was my idol. I watched everything he did and how he did it, and where he practiced and when he practiced. I watched him read the sports page in the morning and check out St. John's scores. I watched him watch college games on TV, and I saw him have success, so I figured, well, that just must be what you do. And so that's what I did. And from him, I learned dedication and commitment. And I consider my sister a superhero. She was a 3-sport varsity athlete here and a T&G All-Star as a sophomore, and then suffered 2 ACL tears and surgeries and had her high school career cut short. And I watched her battle back and never speak the word quit. And ultimately, she walked on to play Division I college soccer. So from watching her, I learned persistence and that you can get knocked down however many times and still get back up and still achieve what you dreamed of. So growing up in that house, I had so many of the right tools to be successful. And my senior year was a really memorable one. The hockey team won the state championship, gymnastics team won the state championship, our soccer team played for the district championship, our track team kept the 20-year streak of undefeated undefeated season going. And I think back to my 8th grade season as a varsity basketball player at the old gym, and they pulled out 1 set of bleachers, and there were maybe 15 to 20 fans there. And by fans, I mean like moms and dads and maybe the scorekeeper who was being paid. But we were 2-18, so that's why we didn't have fans. It wasn't really worth watching us. And then 4 years later, in my senior year, we won the school's first district championship in 25 years, and we played in front of 2,500 people at WPI, and now we had family, extended family, and actual fans. And less than a week later, we played at the DCU Center for the state championship in front of 10,000 people. And I don't even know who was there, but the place was full, and I just remember being there in front of 15 people thinking, this is awful, to, oh my God, who are these people? So I remember a college coach who recruited me telling me, you know, your high school basketball, your college basketball will not be like your high school basketball. It won't be as special. He said it can still be special, but it won't be the same. And he was 100% correct, because I played 4 years of college basketball, and it was great, but it was totally different not playing with the girls you grew up with and not wearing a blue and gold jersey and being a Colonial. So it just wasn't quite as special. So for someone who always wanted to be a Colonial and have a story, receiving this award tonight is the perfect ending to that story. So thank you again.
Okay, our next inductee is from the class of 2004, cross-country basketball and track. Captain and MVP in cross-country and indoor and outdoor track. Set 9 school records in track, 5 of which still stand today. Massachusetts pentathlon champion, Shrewsbury High School outstanding male athlete, currently the indoor track head coach and outdoor track assistant coach. He so far has received 3 Coach of the Year awards. I'd like to present Kurt Gustafson.
Good evening, and thank you to all who made this special night possible. The Shrewsbury High School Alumni Association, the Boosters members, members of the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, SHS administrators, athletic director Jay Costa, fellow coaches, athletes, and families. It really is an honor to be here tonight. I just want to congratulate all of this year's inductees. I wouldn't be standing here for you tonight if it weren't for the incredible support of my family, especially my parents, Paul and Chris, my sister Ingrid, class of 2013, Hall of Fame member, my grandparents, as well as my teammates from cross country, basketball, indoor, and spring track. I'm also grateful to the coaches who helped me reach this milestone, Coach Jim Smith in cross country, Coach Butterfield in track, Hall of Fame coach, Coach Munsner, Coach Diamond Topless, the elder, and assistant coaches, Coach Nicholas Machado and Nawasaki. Throughout my 4 years at Shrewsbury High School, I was supported by a truly dedicated athletic director who was, I was also fortunate enough to have him as my track coach come springtime, and that was Gordon Warren. We also had great support from the school department and the Shrewsbury community, which really gave me a great opportunity to receive a quality education and participate in a high-quality athletics program. Life is really a series of opportunities, and it was the opportunities and the doors that opened because of the academic and athletic program at Shrewsbury High School that helped make me who I am today. I learned the value of hard work, dedication, perseverance, and teamwork. As a result, I had the opportunity to attend my dream school, which was UConn, where I was able to be a walk-on on the track team. And I went on to earn my degree in kinesiology, and then later got my license to teach physical education. If I think about it, things really do come around full circle. I think when I left high school, I probably wouldn't have said, what I'd be doing in the next 10 years, but I'm very happy now that I became a teacher and I'm a coach, and I get to work at my dream school, Shrewsbury High School. This has allowed me to live in Shrewsbury, great place to live and work, short commute. And I also got to marry another SHS graduate, Sarah over there. And we're both proud parents of 2 daughters, Anna and Emma, classes of 2035 and 2037. So starting to feel old right now, but we've got a lot to look forward to. And I'm very grateful that I was able to embrace the many opportunities that helped shape my life, made me who I am today. I get to do what I love every single day. Now I have the opportunity to guide a new generation of Shrewsbury athletes. I see some of them here tonight with Joe O'Brien and Joe Young, and it's a very rewarding experience, and they're carrying the torch on. In closing, thank you everyone for providing these opportunities and creating a very special night tonight. Thank you.
Okay, our next inductee is from the class of 2008, soccer and indoor and outdoor track, captain and 2-time leading scorer in soccer, mid-watch all-star in all 3 sports, T&G all-star in indoor and outdoor track, and several champion awards in the 55-meter hurdles and the 4x200 relay. I present Ashlyn Derodier.
This is my nightmare, so I'll try and make it fast. I'm extremely honored to be included among the Colonials' best this evening. Thank you to my nominator and the committee for believing that I was worthy of being inducted. It's a great honor to be recognized for all my accomplishments. This past fall, I co-coached the girls' JV soccer team at the high school for the first time. When we started in August, it felt like yesterday that I was playing soccer there and running track. Although I quickly was reminded that I'm no longer a teen and in high school when the first week I tried to practice with them and I pulled my quad and I couldn't do anything for a month. This past season did help me have a greater appreciation for all the coaches that I had and their role in my achievements. Although I was a fierce competitor, sometimes during practice I did need a little extra push, especially for track when it was time to do sprint workouts and I conveniently wanted to do the high jump or run the throw the shot put. Costa and DeWallace can attest to that, which I'm sure was not the easiest to deal with. I can only hope to continue my coaching career and pass on everything I've learned from the coaches that I've had and as an athlete and everything I've learned past Shrewsbury High School. None of us get to where we're going alone. There's a crowd of people cheering you on, opening doors, encouraging you, and working behind the scenes. Thank you to my biggest cheerleaders, many of whom are here today. I was lucky enough to be my best friend playing soccer at Shrewsbury High School. Jamie, thanks for being my person, encouraging me and being with me for all these years. Maggie, thanks for being a wonderful friend and the best co-coach I could have asked for in our first season at Shrewsbury High. I appreciate you both and your support so much, and I love that you came and be with me tonight. Amanda, you were my first and toughest competitor. As kids, every time you knocked me down and beat me up, Mom always warned you that one day I'd be as big and strong as you. But apparently, I became a little bit bigger and stronger. Even so, I've always wanted to be just like you, so watching your success in athletics at SHS was no different. It pushed me to try and be the best that I could be, because I really wanted to beat you. I'm really blessed to have you as both a sister and a friend, and I can honestly say I've learned so much from you. Thank you for pushing me to be the best that I could be. Most importantly, Mom and Dad. None of this would be possible if it weren't for you, and I can't thank you enough for all the sacrifices you made so that Amanda and I were able to pursue our passions. No accolade will ever compare to having you in the stands for every game or meet I ever participated in, and being there to celebrate my successes or console me during my losses. Thank you for constantly telling me how proud you are of me, whether it was when I was playing sports or now. On discouraging days when my performance was far less than what I was striving for, or whenever I questioned my ability, you were always there to pick me back up. I love you both so much, and thank you doesn't seem like quite enough. Some of my fondest memories are participating in sports at SHS, and I'd love to be able to go back and do it all over again. Every time I see someone that I used to play with, they say the same thing. I'm sure Erin can attest to it because we played together. Thank you for letting me relive my glory days these past 2 days, and I'm honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year.
Before we present the last inductee, I have an announcement. I have Mr. Venuti. Is Mr. Venuti still here? No? He overpaid for his meal. I have his $10. So I'll give it to you after the program. I don't want you to leave without it. Anyway, our last inductee, certainly not the least, from the class of 2009, team captain in both soccer and basketball, mid-watch all-star in both sports, T&G super team in both sports, dedication and excellence in basketball award, 4-year soccer player at Assumption College. I'd like to present Erin Kinback.
Congratulations to all the other inductees tonight. This is certainly a special evening, and I feel very grateful to be standing up here amongst all of you. To those on the selection committee, thank you very much for this recognition. This is something I plan to hold over my siblings' heads for a very long time to come. I feel as if I chose team sports so that I would never have to give an individual speech, so I'll make this very quick. I'd like to start by giving credit and thanks to my teammates. Without them, I would not be up here accepting this award. From those pivotal state final games to the more ordinary moments like bus rides and pregame rituals, I would not look back on my time at SHS with such fondness if it weren't for each and every one of them. I was fortunate enough to have had individuals along my high school journey that knew how to get the best out of me, one of which also being honored this evening is Erin Largess. My coach for 3 of my 4 years, Erin made me feel like she really trusted me as a leader on the court. She was a Shrewsbury point guard I had looked up to in elementary school, and for her to have gone on to become my coach was really special, and the fact that she trusted me spoke volumes. I may have lost some of her trust, actually, when, against her request, I went on to play in the Powder Puff football game, broke my collarbone, putting me out for the first part of our season, but besides that, everything was very seamless. To Ken Largess, Jay Costa, PJ O'Connell, and Todd Bazidlo, I just want to say it's people like you have created such an amazing community here that make former students like myself look back and be beyond grateful to have been a part of it all. So thank you for everything that you did for me personally and for all that you continue to do for all the other students. To my siblings, who when they found out I'd be receiving this award, immediately demanded a recount. You guys are the best. From watching Matt painfully suffer across the finish line in cross country, to Emily socialize with her doubles partner in the heat of a match, or Chris struggled to reach the hoop from the three-point line. I was always watching and taking notes. So whether it was what to do or what not to do, they were always teaching me something. No, but really a special shout out to my brother Chris, who made me feel included regardless of my age or ability. It would have been easy to keep his younger sister from playing with his friends, but instead he encouraged me to get better and keep up. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank my parents who by far did the most for me. Their sacrifices are what allowed me to go on to achieve any bit of success I've had, both on and off the court. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for everything. But I would say there's certainly no question that some of my fondest memories are those spent in a blue and gold jersey. Representing the school, this town, and playing alongside some amazing athletes are things that I look back on with a tremendous sense of pride. So thank you again for this award and for this evening. It's a privilege to be a part of it all. Thank you.
Great job, Erin. That concludes our ceremony for this evening. Run through the highlights real quickly. 11 inductees actually came from all places. Three from Florida, Tennessee, Virginia. They probably set a record for the miles logged to get here tonight, which is a tribute to them. So one more round of applause for the 11 inductees. And as I said earlier, that now makes 164 individuals in the Shrewsbury High School Athletic Hall of Fame. And like I said, with the thousands and thousands of athletes, administrators, contributors, volunteers involved in the programs, it's quite an honor to be part of this elite group. So another highlight of the evening was I never got zapped, which was a good thing. So hopefully we didn't keep you here too long. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and all of you who are traveling far away, please travel safely, and those local people, please drive safely. Thanks for coming.